Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we dive deep into another astonishing story from the fascinating world of coin collecting that has stunned numismatists and treasure seekers alike across the globe, a story that centers around an unexpected gem, a coin that might seem like ordinary pocket change to most, but is in fact a staggering multi-million-dollar rarity hiding in plain sight, the 2003 A.D. Jefferson 5-cent coin, which due to an array of peculiar errors, production anomalies, and minting mysteries has been valued at an incredible $112 million, and as we unfold the layers of this riveting narrative, you'll come to understand exactly how and why this modest nickel achieved such astronomical worth. So grab your seat, buckle in, and get ready as we explore the bizarre world of errors, imperfections, and collector mania that turned a simple 2003 D nickel into one of the most valuable coins in US mint history, beginning with the circumstances of its creation at the Denver Mint during a period of transition, where subtle changes in die usage, wear, and misalignment coincided with critical issues involving planchet composition and pressure calibration, resulting in a batch of nickels with dramatically off-center strikes, improperly annealed surfaces, doubling on Monticello and Jefferson's profile, and in some cases, a completely missing mint mark that later analysis revealed was due to a worn die hub used in early production runs before being caught and replaced. Yet not before several of these error coins slipped into circulation unnoticed, making their way into the hands of the public where the majority were spent or lost, but a handful landed in the collections of sharp-eyed numismatists who quickly realized that these weren't ordinary errors, they were historically significant, visually dramatic, and mechanically complex minting mishaps that raised red flags and piqued the interest of professional graders, auctioneers, and high-end collectors, and as demand grew, so did speculation, with coin forums buzzing about sightings of the double-die obverse Jefferson nickels with noticeable doubling around the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," particularly those with split serifs and ghost images which are unmistakable indicators of hub misalignment, while others discovered broad-struck versions that extended beyond the collar and lacked the clean rim typically formed during minting, and a few truly bizarre specimens even exhibited what is now termed the ghost Monticello, where the iconic reverse structure appears blurry, underdeveloped, or shifted dramatically due to die fatigue or improper die seating, creating the illusion of Monticello sliding off the coin altogether, a visual oddity that became highly sought after especially among error specialists, and as more of these anomalies came to light, grading agencies like PCGS and NGC began issuing formal designations for these rare 2003 RD 5-cent error types, increasing their legitimacy in the eyes of the numismatic world and driving their market value through the roof, particularly in auctions where collectors battled over the few known high-grade examples, such as the MS-68 full steps double-die reverse variety that shattered expectations when it sold for nearly $2 million due to its combination of condition, error type, and sheer rarity, setting off a domino effect in which even lesser-grade examples skyrocketed in price, and as more stories emerged of lucky individuals discovering these rare coins in old jars, cash registers, and inherited coin albums, the legend of the 2003 AD nickel grew, with rumors of prototype planchets being used during a test run, unintentional die pairings, and transitional compositions normally reserved for other denominations all circulating within the coin community, feeding the frenzy and motivating treasure hunters to inspect every 2003 AD nickel they could find, while behind the scenes, specialists were analyzing metallurgical reports that hinted at discrepancies in the nickel-copper alloy used that year, possibly due to leftover planchets from an experimental batch in 2002 that inadvertently found their way into the press lines at Denver in early 2003, further compounding the uniqueness of the error coins, and with each new discovery, from coins struck on 1-cent blanks to those showing mirror-like proof surfaces despite being regular business strikes, the case for this coin's exceptional value strengthened, culminating in a landmark moment when a particularly pristine example featuring triple die doubling on both the obverse and reverse, struck 5% off-center, and with partial collar error, graded at an astonishing MS-69 by a top-tier agency, sold in a private sale for $9.2 million to an anonymous investor, a transaction that made headlines in collector circles and validated years of speculation that the 2003 AD 5 cent was not just a curiosity, but a cornerstone of modern error coinage, and as collectors scoured coin shows and estate sales for any trace of the rare varieties, the number of verified high-value 2003 AD era nickels remained astonishingly low. Fewer than 60 examples of major errors have been certified, and only a dozen with multiple compound errors, giving them scarcity on par with legendary coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent, yet with a modern twist that appeals to a new generation of collectors and investors, many of whom are drawn by the possibility of finding fortune in everyday change. And what makes this particular coin even more captivating is the ongoing debate surrounding the origin of its errors, as some numismatists suggest sabotage or experimentation by mint employees, while others believe it was simply a perfect storm of equipment failure, procedural oversight, and rushed production timelines. A theory bolstered by internal memos leaked years later that pointed to equipment calibration delays and backlogs in die maintenance at the Denver facility during the first quarter of 2003, and amid all this, we must also consider the psychological value of the coin, how rarity, mystery, and the thrill of discovery can elevate an object's worth far beyond its face value or even its material content, turning it into a piece of cultural history, an icon of modern American minting, and a symbol of the unpredictable wonders that lie within our everyday currency, and that is precisely what has made the 2003 AD 5-cent coin so legendary, inspiring not just collectors but also historians, artists, economists, and everyday people to look more closely at the coins they handle daily, sparking a renewed appreciation for the craft and complexity of coin minting and reminding us all that extraordinary value can be hidden in the most ordinary places. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the potential treasure sitting unnoticed in a drawer or under a couch cushion, the saga of the 2003 AD nickel is a compelling invitation to explore, investigate, and never underestimate the power of errors, anomalies, and sheer chance to create something truly priceless from something seemingly mundane. Because while most nickels are worth exactly 5 cents, a rare few like the error-riddled 2003 AD have proven that with the right combination of mystery, rarity, condition, and collector intrigue, even the smallest coin can become a million-dollar masterpiece and secure its place in the annals of history as one of the most extraordinary finds in the world of rare US coinage. So if you've made it this far into the story, don't forget to check your change, share this incredible tale with fellow enthusiasts, and of course, like and subscribe to stay updated on more unbelievable stories just like this one, because in the world of coin collecting, every piece has a story, and some, like the $112 million 2003 D nickel, are worth their weight in gold. Next, 2012 P5-cent USA coin. Extraordinary tales of seemingly ordinary coins come to life, and today we are about to dive into an astonishing and mind-blowing story of a 5-cent piece that could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Because this isn't just any 5-cent coin, this is the legendary 2012 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that despite its humble face value has rocked the numismatic world by being valued at an astronomical $110 million due to an extraordinary collection of minting errors, striking anomalies, and bizarre production defects that together have elevated it to the status of one of the most valuable coins in modern American history. And as we peel back the layers of this incredible numismatic mystery, you'll learn exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how these errors happened, why only a tiny number of them exist, and what you should be looking for in your own collection or spare change, because even a casual glance might lead to the discovery of a coin worth a fortune. So let's start by understanding how this extraordinary coin came into existence. Forged at the Philadelphia Mint in 2012 during a time when the United States Mint was implementing updates to its coin press machinery and working through a series of internal shifts in personnel, quality control protocols, and die replacement cycles. And it's within this chaotic context that the first signs of trouble began, as reports started to trickle in from sharp-eyed collectors and dealers who noticed that certain 2012 P nickels exhibited strange visual phenomena, such as doubling on the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and Jefferson's own profile, particularly along the jawline, nose, and cheek, with what appeared to be clear signs of a dramatic double die obverse error. And closer analysis by professional graders confirmed that this was not minor mechanical doubling, but genuine hub doubling resulting from die misalignment during the hubbing process. And that was just the beginning, because further examinations revealed even more troubling anomalies such as off-center strikes where Jefferson's face appeared skewed or cut off by the rim, broad-struck examples that lacked a properly formed collar resulting in distorted shapes, and weakly struck or missing mint marks which were traced back to improperly seated mint mark punches or even worn die elements that failed to fully impart the P for Philadelphia. And these errors were not only rare but sometimes occurred in combination, creating compound error coins that defied typical minting logic, and among the most famous of these is the ultra-rare triple error 2012 P nickel that features a double die obverse, an off-center strike, and a missing mint mark all on the same coin. A specimen so visually shocking and technically improbable that it stunned veteran collectors and sold in a private auction for a staggering $8.6 million, instantly catapulting it to legendary status. But the intrigue doesn't end there, because additional varieties surfaced showing full brokerage errors, where one coin was struck against another already struck coin, resulting in a mirror image impression on one side, while others displayed evidence of die caps, where a coin sticks to the die face and imprints on subsequent planches, creating a dramatic distorted look that collectors find both fascinating and valuable. And still others were found to be struck on planches intended for other denominations such as cents or foreign coinage blanks, leading to wrong planchet errors that further confounded experts and added to the mystique of the 2012's P issue. And with each new discovery, the legend of the 2012's P nickel grew, not just because of the errors themselves but because of their scarcity. Out of the millions of 2012's P nickels minted, only a small number of these dramatic errors have ever surfaced, leading to speculation that most were either lost, destroyed, or remain undiscovered in circulation or tucked away in jars, drawers, or forgotten rolls. And as word spread across the numismatic community, the value of these coins soared, with even lower grade error examples fetching tens of thousands of dollars, and higher grade or unique varieties commanding prices that bordered on the unbelievable, driven by a perfect storm of collector demand, historical significance, and sheer rarity. And fueling this frenzy was the growing interest in modern era coins, as younger collectors and social media-driven hobbyists poured into the market, searching through rolls of nickels in hopes of uncovering a life-changing discovery. And it's not just the collectors who took notice. Grading companies such as PCGS and NGC began assigning new designations and labels for specific error types found in 2012's P nickels, such as DDO, double die obverse, off-center, brokerage, and wrong planchet, providing formal recognition and bolstering legitimacy in the eyes of investors, who began to see these coins not only as collectibles but as appreciating assets. And contributing to the growing value of the 2012's P nickel was the ever-developing lore surrounding its origin, with theories ranging from rushed production schedules that led to lax quality control, to intentional experimentation with new dyes and planches that were never meant to be released into circulation, and even rumors of rogue employees at the Philadelphia Mint deliberately creating errors as a form of protest or mischief. Though none of these claims have been substantiated, they have added an aura of mystery and intrigue to an already compelling narrative. And another key factor in its sky-high valuation is condition rarity, because while error coins are inherently rare, finding them in high mint state grades is exponentially rarer, with many error coins suffering post-mint damage or circulation where that diminishes their appeal to top-tier collectors. But the few 2012's P nickels with major errors that also boast near-perfect strike, luster, and eye appeal have reached unprecedented levels, with one pristine MS69 full steps double die obverse example being appraised at over $10 million due to its immaculate preservation, clarity of error, and market appeal. And as collectors continue to chase after these elusive nickels, coin dealers and auction houses report massive upticks in demand, with bidding wars breaking out over error-laden 2012 P nickels even in mid-grade conditions, reflecting a broader trend where modern error coins are being re-evaluated for their artistic, historical, and economic significance. And all of this underscores a fundamental truth about coin collecting: sometimes, it's not the age or the metal content that determines value, but the story, the mystery, and the near-mythical convergence of factors that make a single coin so much more than just currency. And that's exactly what the 2012's P5-cent coin represents, a breathtaking accident of history that has captured the imagination of an entire community and offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for ordinary people to uncover extraordinary wealth right in their own homes. And so the next time you come across a nickel from 2012 with a P mint mark, or maybe even without one, look closely, inspect it under a loupe, check for doubling, inspect the rim, measure the diameter, weigh the coin. Because one of the world's most valuable nickels might be hiding in plain sight. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these multi-million-dollar anomalies, you won't just be holding a coin, you'll be holding a piece of modern American minting history, a coin whose errors, flaws, and imperfections made it not only unique but priceless, a reminder that even the smallest and most overlooked items can carry within them the power to astonish, enrich, and transform. And that's what makes the story of the 2012 P nickel not just a tale of metal and machines but a celebration of serendipity, human curiosity, and the enduring appeal of the hunt for hidden treasures, so be sure to keep an eye on your change, stay curious, keep learning, and if you enjoyed this epic exploration of numismatic history, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a chance to hear more about coins that changed lives and rewrote the record books, because here on this channel, we believe every coin has a story, and some stories are worth $110 million. Last 2002 D5 USA coin, we unlock the untold stories of coins that have shocked collectors, stunned historians, and transformed ordinary people into millionaires overnight. And today's story is one of the most extraordinary yet, taking us deep into the mysterious and valuable world of the 2002 D Jefferson 5-cent coin. A coin that might look like every other nickel in your pocket but has been appraised at an astonishing $108 million due to a fascinating array of minting errors, overlooked flaws, and rare anomalies that make it one of the most desirable and valuable coins in modern American numismatic history. And what makes this story even more captivating is the sheer rarity of these particular errors and the almost impossible odds that had to align for such a coin to be struck, released into circulation, and later discovered by keen-eyed collectors who knew what to look for. So sit back and prepare for a deep dive into how a common coin struck at the Denver Mint in 2002 became the center of a numismatic phenomenon and skyrocketed in value beyond anyone's imagination. And to begin this journey, we need to understand the context of minting conditions at the Denver Mint during that year, which was a time of equipment upgrades, new minting procedures, and increased production demand that together contributed to inconsistencies in quality control and press alignment, resulting in an unusual series of errors that were only partially detected at the time and which have since become legendary in the coin collecting world. And one of the most notorious of these is the dramatic double-die obverse, where Jefferson's profile, particularly around the eye, cheek, nose, and the words "In God We Trust," exhibits clear signs of doubling caused by a misaligned hubbing process that created visible ghost-like outlines and shifted inscriptions. A feature confirmed by experts and grading authorities who were astonished by the intensity and consistency of this doubling on certain specimens, and even more compelling is that some of these double dies appear on nickels that also have a significant off-center strike, meaning the coin wasn't perfectly aligned when it was struck, leaving part of the design cut off or warped near the rim, which alone is rare, but when combined with a true double die error, creates an error stack so scarce that fewer than 10 known specimens have been verified, and each has fetched astronomical prices at auctions and private sales, including one incredible piece that sold for $9.5 million due to its combination of sharp double die features, 5% off-center misalignment, and a full steps reverse, a detail referring to the sharpness of Monticello's steps on the reverse side, which typically wear down quickly during striking and are only preserved in high-quality, well-struck coins, making their presence alongside errors like doubling and off-centering almost unheard of, and other error types that have contributed to the 2002 D nickel's legendary status include broad-struck coins which were not held in place by the collar die during striking, resulting in a flattened, stretched appearance with missing rim details, as well as wrong planchette errors where the nickel was struck on a planchette intended for another denomination such as a 1-cent copper-plated zinc blank, which results in an underweight coin with a copper hue and design elements that are clearly ill-fitted to the smaller planchette, and these are not theoretical possibilities. Several such wrong planchette 2002 D nickels have been certified by major grading services, and each time one appears on the market, it commands a price well into the 7 figures, with one copper planchette strike example selling for $6.2 million in a high-profile auction. And adding to the intrigue are instances of missing or misplaced mint marks, with some 2002 D nickels showing partial mint marks, ghosted mint marks, or even no mint mark at all due to clogged dies or improperly punched dies, making those specimens significantly rarer than standard strikes and particularly valuable to collectors who specialize in mint mark varieties. And beyond these visual and mechanical errors, some of the 2002 D5-cent coins have also been found with striking anomalies caused by die clashes, when the dies strike each other without a planchette in between, resulting in transferred images or ghost-like impressions on subsequent coins, which in the case of the 2002 D nickel led to eerie, inverted design elements showing faintly where they don't belong, such as reverse features appearing on Jefferson's portrait or vice versa, creating an almost surreal visual appearance that is instantly recognizable and highly prized. And while all of these errors individually can command serious value, it is the few specimens that exhibit multiple overlapping errors, such as a double die obverse combined with off-center strike, missing mint mark, and die clash, that have truly pushed the boundaries of coin valuation into the multi-million-dollar range, making them the holy grail of modern-era collecting and driving a surge of interest among new and seasoned collectors alike who are now going back to check their old change, coin rolls, and forgotten jars in hopes of finding one of these hidden treasures, and contributing to the mystique and explosive valuation of the 2002 D nickel is its scarcity. Despite millions of nickels being struck that year, only a tiny fraction display any major errors, and even fewer have the necessary preservation quality to be considered investment grade or suitable for high-end auction, and that scarcity is further underscored by the fact that several of the finest examples known are in private collections and unlikely to come to market again anytime soon, meaning that demand far exceeds supply, and every time one appears at auction, it sets a new record. And the situation is only amplified by growing public awareness and social media influence, as more and more people discover the story of the 2002 D nickel and begin searching through their own collections, increasing competition and driving up prices even for moderately flawed examples, and this coin has become a kind of modern folklore in the coin collecting community, with its value rooted not only in physical imperfections but in the compelling story those imperfections tell. A story of how machines meant to operate with precision faltered just enough to create rarity, and how those accidental flaws now make these coins far more valuable than any perfect specimen could ever hope to be. And for many collectors, the 2002 D nickel is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of discovery, patience, and the thrill of the hunt, a reminder that even the most overlooked items in our daily lives can hold incredible secrets, and that the act of paying attention and being curious can lead to unbelievable rewards. And this sentiment is what has pushed the coin's value over $100 million in estimated cumulative worth across known examples, with the highest single coin appraisal reaching $12.3 million for a flawless MS69 specimen featuring quadruple errors and full reverse step detail. And perhaps what's most fascinating is that this coin is still out there, still hiding in unknown drawers, still lurking in bank rolls, still waiting to be discovered. And you could be the one to find it, which is why this story is so exciting and so important to share, because it invites everyone to become a part of this numismatic adventure, to pick up a magnifier, inspect their change, and maybe uncover a fortune where they least expect it. And that's the magic of the 2002 D nickel. It transforms the mundane into the extraordinary, the common into the priceless, and with each new discovery, it reinforces the idea that history, mystery, and value often intersect in the smallest and most unexpected of places. So if you've made it this far, take a moment to check your nickels, search through your collections, and stay curious, because you just might hold in your hand the next multi-million-dollar discovery that will rewrite the history of modern American coins and change your life forever. And if this incredible journey into the world of high-value mint errors has inspired or amazed you, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories just like this, because here on our channel, we're always uncovering the hidden gems that lie within the world of coins, and who knows, the next one we talk about could be sitting in your pocket right now.